It's a rattle ball. Good to be at it.
Hey everyone, welcome to another Rec to Resto video. On this episode, I'm going to give the ute a quick clean up and we're going to head down to Cars and Coffee. Also got a special guest on this episode, so keep watching to see who it is.
Hey, I'm Anthony. This is my 2017 Ford Mustang GT 5.0.
And how long have you had it?
I only bought it in November last year, so yeah, only 3 months now.
My name is Les Betty. I've got some old. I brought a 1950 model Bedford 3-ton truck, which I've bought from the hangar up, and I spent a lot of money on it to get it to what it is today, but it was well worth it. Yeah.
Okay, my name's Nash, and this is a 1953 Jag, and it was famous for the Queen Mother's favourite car, and Sterling Moss actually won Le Mans in this car.
Oh, okay. How long have you had it?
I've had it for probably 6 months.
And why did you choose this car?
I have got probably 20 cars at home, and most of them are Jags, so I've had Jags for quite a while.
So my name's Eric Benson. I bought a 1983 Daihatsu Scat 2.8 litre diesel with a 5-speed gearbox.
And
So it's a rattle bolt.
what's your story with it? Why are you selling it?
Well, yeah, it's a sort of not a welcome sale, probably because I've chewed up too much of my super, I think. So it's a bit of a reluctant sale, I suppose. I bought it about 18, 20 years ago as a little fishing jalopy for when I had a holiday unit down at Mandurah. So, and my stepdaughter used it when she was the winemaker at Westgate Power. Anyway, so it's had lots of money spent on it over the years, panel of paint, and especially rust removal. But yeah, it's a nice little bus. All the upholstery looks good inside. So.
Glenn Badger, 1975 Ford Escort Mark 1 RS 2000. I've owned the car for about 12, 13 years. Only just finished it. Been sitting in the shed waiting to get done. But good to be out here.
Hey guys, I've got Jeff from Torq Hub here next to me.
How you doing?
Good. Jeff's come down for a bit of a weekend in Albany, and we reached out, and he's called in, and we've just gone to Cars and Coffee and done a bit of a drive. So it's good hanging out, finally meeting you properly. So.
Yeah, that's it. I think we met you once at the Cars and Coffee Southwest many moons ago. I think we hadn't long started our channel at that point. Sort of put name to a face at that point, but it's been a long time between drinks, and we managed to hijack my wife's weekend away for half a day.
Sorry, Livy. What are you doing, mate? When you come to say hello.
Hey?
Anyway, we figured while we got you down here, we'll ask you some questions. And
why not?
So to start off, what was your very first car?
So this is a bit of a two-parter. So the very first car I had was an S13 Silvia.
Yeah.
That was kind of the thing that I was into at the time, but that car was an absolute bucket of shit. It was, honestly, it was no good. So ended up warping the head on it. Me and the old boy and a couple of dudes from work, where Dad worked, they had like a mill. Yeah. So we tore it all apart and milled it all and got it all straight. Basically just put it back together and got rid of it while it was still worth something. Yeah. And this all happened before I got my license. So I got rid of that and then I bought a VR Berliner, which had the Buick V6 in it. Did like the forum mods, you know, like did all the cold air intake and extractors and stuff like that. That was sort of the first car that I started modifying. Yep. The day before I got my license, every now and again, my mates from school and that would be like, oh, let's go out for a cruise. And if their car didn't have any fuel, we'd just take mine. Yeah. There's a long straight near our house, and you know that's where we used to do some VMAX runs. You know, these cars are probably top out at 180, 200, whatever. That's where you do it. And with the Buicks, if you were to hold it wide open and then snap the throttle shut, they just had no pulse width on the injectors. So top of top gear at nearly 200 k's an hour, snapped the throttle shut, and this thing had no fuel and just rotted straight through. And this was on Sunday afternoon, and I got my license the next morning and I had to catch the bus.
It's pure, right? Probably learnt your lesson early in the piece then.
Yeah, well, the lesson was learn how to fix the car yourself because the mechanics are going to be very expensive.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think my first car ended up putting a new engine in after a couple of months because it let go, and it's the best way to learn is to get out in the shed. And
yeah. Well, I put a deposit down on like a massive stereo system. This is in the early 2000s when like in-car entertainment was huge. So I had like the subs and the screen and this and that, and it was going to be fitted the next week. And I had to go into the stereo shop and beg to get my deposit back because I had to buy a new engine.
Wrecker special or?
Yeah, it was more or less a wrecker special, yeah, but reconditioned. Yeah.
What would be your ultimate dream car?
Like all car guys, you know, you'd have 100 of them if you could, wouldn't you? Yeah. And it sort of changes almost weekly. If you see something that really sort of gets you going, oh yeah, that's what I'd want. But I think for the most part, the car that I'm building at the moment, my SLE, is probably my dream car. Like I say, there'd be heaps of them if you had money, no object. But growing up as a teen and having all the Street Commodores posters and Street Machine posters up on my wall, this is essentially the kind of car that, you know, I said, I'd love to have one of those one day. Yeah. And I've just decided, all right, it's now or never. Yeah. I'm only doing this once. So, sending it with the SLE. So that'd be a nitrous, Holden V8, trans brake, turbo 350 with, it's probably going to start off with a Borgie rear end. I could probably see it having a 9-inch at some point. Yeah. But something that can run 9 seconds aspirated, but street car. Yeah. That's essentially what I'm keen for. Yeah. And then obviously, if you know, could shoot for the stars, then it'd probably be like a twin turbo Hemi Dodge Dart or something like that. But you know, like, let's be realistic.
Yeah. No, I've seen sort of the way you're heading with the vision of the VH, and it's going to be a super nice car when it's done.
Hopefully. Yeah. Got to get there first.
Yeah. So, to the people that don't know, like with your YouTube background, what is Torq Hub and how did it start and all the rest of it?
Yeah, so much like everyone else, it started by talking about it for a long time. But myself and Kurt, who's the other half of Torq Hub, you know, we watch a lot of YouTube, we don't watch TV. But on the weekends and stuff, we'd be helping out mates with cars, or Kurt does a lot of fabrication, he'd do a lot of custom fabrication for stuff. Yeah. And we just sort of thought, well, we kind of do some cool stuff. Like if we learn how to film and learn how to edit, we could probably put up a video that's as good, if not better, than some of these other people. Yeah. With, you know, some as good, if not better projects. So just decided one day, it was actually a power cruise. I kind of just called our bluff and took a GoPro and said, fuck it, let's do that. Yep. And that's kind of how it started. The direction that we want to head in is, we've been doing a lot of our mates' cars and stuff because it's a lot easier to live out of someone else's wallet. Yeah. But obviously we want to just start probably concentrating on our own cars in 2025 moving forward, and eventually we'd like to build a race car of some description. Street strip kind of cars is mostly our jam. High performance street cars or drag cars, that's kind of where our passion is. So we've built a couple of pretty cool cars so far. If you've watched the channel, you've probably seen them. But yeah, moving forward, I want to finish, I say my dream car, like we were just talking about. Finish Kurt's VR BT1 as well, get that lined out with a 355 in it. It's got a GTX 42 turbo at the moment, but with the 355 we'll probably have a bigger turbo again. And yeah, get out using those, racing more, like actually racing them. And probably once the funds allow, then we'll build a race car so we can race that.
Have you got any plans for this year to go to any events with those cars, or is it just mainly trying to get Kurt's Commodore done and then? Yeah,
at the moment there's a bit of a scramble where we've got motivation coming up in a month, and we just took a perfectly running car and tore it all apart to put a new ECU in it. So there's a bit of a scramble at the moment to try and get the BT1 maybe together for motivation, which would be great. I'm going to be at motivation regardless, carless though, unfortunately, having sold my blown VS Ute, which I'm...
Insert tears.
Still a little bit sad about. But yeah, so I'll be going with a bunch of mates. The Pro Charged XY will be there. The F6 Falcon, which we did some fabrication for, that'll be there. The Super Camry's going to be there. So yeah, a bunch of the Torq Hub cars are going to be there, and we'll be doing that. I'd love to get to Rocky Nats. I'm not sure if I'll be able to get there this year, but I'd love to get to Rocky Nats. Summer Nats is obviously a bucket list event for a lot of people as well, but I don't know how it'll go. I think this year's mostly going to be focused around getting the cars done. Because if you do fly to these events, you lose a week and a couple of $1,000s in doing it, whereas you could spend that week and then a couple of $1,000s actually getting the car over the line. So I think 2025 should be the year that we just buckle down and get them done, so then we can start doing more events long term. And obviously you've got the other wagon that you need to finish off on your channel. So. The rear mount turbo wagon, that's another one to finish, and one that we haven't done a video on but we're balls deep in is the VS Maloo project. Are you going to be putting out a bit of a series on that this year, or? Yeah, absolutely. There'll be plenty of videos on the Maloo coming out, and I know there's a few people eagerly participating in those videos. It's going to be a pretty wild unit. So. I can't wait to see it. So. See, we went to Cars and Coffee this morning. It's one of those events you never really know what's going to turn up. What was your impressions of Cars and Coffee this morning? Well, I think they turned it on for us, honestly. Someone must have knew I was coming. Well, you definitely turned the weather on. Absolutely. I think, the mixture of the weather and the end of the Christmas holidays got a fair few people out, and the turnout was unexpected. I didn't think there'd be that many cars. Going to coffee meets and whatever can be a bit of a mixed bag, but this one was pretty impressive. You can definitely tell that it's like a slightly older demographic down here. You're in a rural sort of town, and that's the sort of car that you're getting out there. You're getting your X Series Falcons, your H Series Holdens, a couple of American muscle sort of things, Tiranas, Tiranas, Valiants, that kind of thing. The quality of cars on show was pretty good. You can tell that there's some people here that are really passionate. They've probably had the car since it was near new, and they've probably run it into the ground, and now it's like a phoenix rising from the ashes as this beautiful little diamond. There's definitely a few of them. For sure. But it's good to see that they're getting out there, they're using them, and everyone's happy to have a chat. And some of them probably want to chat a little bit too much, but that's okay too. I definitely got bailed up a few times today, which is good. I love chatting to people. Absolutely. Oh man, is there anything better than going to a car meet and talking about cars? Like that's the whole reason we do this stuff, right? And that's the whole reason we do this now, is that we can have those conversations and you can watch them from your lounge room. Like at the end of the day, if it wasn't for this, I would have never have met Jeff, and that's just the circle that we're in, and I wouldn't have it any other way. So no, it's great, man, and thanks for extending the invite to come, and you've opened your shed for me and taken me for a drive in your car, and it's been a great morning, man. I've really enjoyed it. No, I appreciate it. So. Too easy. All right, thanks again for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Don't forget, comment, like, subscribe. Help a brother out. Thanks again.
Obviously, we can chop out whatever.
Nah, put it all in, man. Put it all in. Intro number 8.